Alright, so we're looking at an automatic transmission vehicle now for the fluid check, and this is where we're going to start looking for automatic transmissions. So look over here to start with, and we've got our radiator coolant in this truck, and if you were to look down here underneath, at the cold level where it says cold fill, we still don't even show any water down there, and if we remove this cap and look down inside, you'll see that there's nothing in there. So it's definitely low on fluid. If you were to look over here now for washer fluid, you can see the washer fluid on the side all the way up to here, so it's got washer fluid. It's just a quick going through this car. Now let's take a look at our engine oil. Our engine oil happens to be back here. So remember, when we pull this out, the first thing we're going to do is ignore what it says and clean it off. And we're going to take a look. And it says we got an add. If it's down to here, we're going to add 1 quart. And if it's up here, it is full. So let's take a look at what it says. So this time we find that we're actually low, right? We want to be between the hash marks right here, but we're all the way down here. So we actually want to add 1 quart of oil to this truck, and you'll notice that this oil is not nearly as clean as the oil was in our other car that we looked at. So we want to make sure that we add 1 quart of oil to this vehicle. Okay. We can also see up here we've got our brake fluid level. Look on the side over here. The max line is way up here on the top. Okay, so we could probably stand to add a little bit of brake fluid to bring it up to the max level. There's no minimum level indicated on here, so you want to try to keep it up to this full level. And if you remember, I said that if this starts going down, you want to check your brake pads because something is using this extra fluid somewhere. So there's probably needs to have brake pads put on this truck. Now, the last thing we want to look at is our automatic transmission fluid. This one's a little bit trickier. This one's way back here in the back, so I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to take a look at what it says, because this one says a lot. So, what it says here is, don't add if in crosshatch area, check when hot, engine idling park, use Mercron oil. So first thing we're going to do is figure out what this crosshatch is. Here's our crosshatch down here. So kind of above these 2 dots is where we want to be. So let's take a look. If the engine's cold, let's look at what the level indicates. So I put this back in, and I pull this back out when it's cold. And when it's cold, we're going to be over full. Okay? You see the crosshatch down here, and the level is all the way up here. And the reason for that is that while the engine is cold, all the transmission fluid sits in the bottom of the pan instead of in the torque converter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the vehicle and bring it up to temperature in order to check it. Now remember from our other video on how to start an engine in the shop, make sure that the vent system is working and that your exhaust pipe is hooked up to the system. Okay, now with the engine running, we're going to let this idle here for a few minutes. And we're going to then pull out our dipstick and check the level of our transmission fluid. Remember, be very careful when reaching into a running vehicle. As you can see here, we've got several things that are spinning very fast. So we've got our alternator here spinning very fast, and if you were to climb underneath the hood further, you would find that the radiator is also spinning. So try to keep all objects out of this area. Now, with this running, I'm going to reach back here, grab my transmission fluid, clean it off, ignore the reading, put it back in, pull it out, and check it. Now, take a look at what we have. So instead of being over full like we saw last time, now we see it's right at the bottom of the hash marks, right where it should be. So this truck has good level of automatic transmission fluid.